Hello, hello. I hope that everyone is having a terrific Friday. Oh my gosh, it is Friday. I am so excited that we made it through another week. And the point is we are here now and you made it. You made it, right? So let's talk a little bit about what it's going to look like when you are out of debt. Okay. So if you are in a situation to where you're not sure how in the world you're going to breathe tomorrow when it comes to your debt, have you looked at the videos? Are you learning something that's going to help you to at least have options of what you could do if you were to start some kind of velocity strategy? So when we're looking at velocity banking, you have to study the concept. You have to understand, what different options are there for you. Now, some of you guys may be smothering like I always did, and you didn't think there was any options. Some of you may be brand new to the channel, and you're like, I just thought this was the way it was. I thought that we had to stay in debt, that we had to, pay lots and lots of money for things that we want, like our homes, like our cars, whatever a ski-doo. Maybe you got a loan for, some kind of fun activity this summer. Maybe you financed your vacation, right? We want to pay for what we actually buy, what we want, but we don't want to have to pay extra. So some of you might be thinking, I didn't know we had an option. So if you are in that situation, I just want to tell you that there's not just one option. There's so many strategies that are available to you that you're going to be able to get out of debt very quickly. And when I say that, I get, I even have this feeling come across me like, okay, well, that's unrealistic. We're not getting out of anything fast, much less debt. But you would be so surprised. You would be so surprised. So, how many newbies do we have in the room? How many of you guys have just started watching the channel? Maybe one video, or maybe you've been watching it for a week and you're in that kind of zone of, wow, this sounds exciting, but I don't see how this is possible. If you're there, I want you to like put your hand up or say me or say it right here or something to let me know. Because if you are a newbie to the channel, then you may be in a real wake up call here. Okay, so when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. We all know this, right? So the point is that if you are here, whether you're a newbie or not, then you were ready. You're ready for what you're learning. And your mind is going to be open more to what this concept actually can do to save you financially. And the way I know that is because I too needed to be saved financially. And oh my goodness, it is a game changer, people. It's a game changer. But you have to think, okay? Now, we were given this awesome mind from the creator, and we have to use it to think. You have to think. Think. Earl Nightingale said that that was the one problem with men that they actually interviewed back in the 60s. Was it the 50s or the 60s? I don't remember. Anyway, the point is that nobody actually sits down and takes the time to think. So, what are you thinking about? What are you struggling with? I know you're thinking about that because when we struggle with something, it's on our mind all the time. We never think about just casting our care. That guess what? We're going to be dead one day in the future, and none of this is going to matter anyway. Come on, people. what are you going to be thinking about 100 years from today? You're not. You're probably going to be dead, especially if you're old enough to watch this video. So the thing is don't be so tied up and concerned about what's going on right now, okay? Because all of this is going to go away. The point of the channel is to bring you financial peace while you're here, because we do have to deal with the money system, what's going on with the banks, what it looks like in our situation, how much money do we make. So we have to have some answers there so that we can have some financial peace. And I know everybody says, stop spending, stop spending. When you stop spending your money, you're going to have money. Well, that is one of those lies that's fed to us. We all have common sense. Oh, well, I hope you do. And you know that if you spend less than what you make, then you're going to be fine financially, right? Okay. Okay. So let's take that logic. If you spend less, and especially less than you make in a month, you're going to have $1 or $2 extra, right? $1 or $2. So if that's the logic, then when you have a house payment, because you have to have a place to live, right? And if you have children, you have to provide for them, and you want to provide for them, I hope. You have to buy food, right? You have to have a car. And I'm not real keen on going out here and buying a beater from somebody for $1,000. I mean, we're just talking real money here, real logic. Like, is it logical to go out and buy a used vehicle for $1,000, for $5,000 today? What are you going to be getting? Another headache? Possibly. I mean, you don't have to buy a brand new car. And, you really can't afford to buy a brand new car. So when you buy a beater, like, we're told to do by some of these financial gurus, you go out and buy the beater, and then are you making as many repairs in a month or more than you would be making if you were just making a car payment? So when I think about these loans for cars, for, houses, those are two major pulls on our finances. When I think about that, the point is we want those things, and we may want them new. We may want the new car. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be, a BMW. But it could be like, a new Chevrolet. Maybe, do I know what these cars' names are? I don't know. Give me an idea of a new car that's not so expensive, because it's just like a little, just to get around town car. So if you're paying, say, $30,000, and I know you can find them for less than 30,000 brand new. They have a warranty. And let's say you have a payment of $500 a month. And with today's rates, you might be a little more. But the point is with a beater, are you going to be putting $500 a month into repairs? Maybe. I run into that every day. People thought, well, I thought I'd buy a used vehicle, and that ended up being nothing but a headache. So what I'm getting around to is, logically, we're told to spend less. So, like I said, the financial gurus are telling you spend less. They're telling you don't go out and eat. Certainly don't go on vacation. Don't be buying new cars. New cars is a waste of money. And I agree. They depreciate as soon as you pull them off the lot, right? So the point being that if you're doing all of this to be frugal in your expenses, to be just have a frugal lifestyle, right? $5 pizzas from Little Caesars. Do they still have $5 pizzas from Little Caesars? I don't even know. But when you're doing everything that you can and you still find yourself just the life is just sucked out of you because you cannot get ahead. You cannot. The point is, it's probably the interest that you're paying on that mortgage. It's probably the interest that you're paying on that car. Because when we pay and we pay and we pay and we pay and we pay for years and years and years for this thing that we have to have, like I said, you have to have a place to live. You have to have a car to drive or you're not going anywhere. When you have to have those things and then they wad you up like this here, they just wad you up in debt, not your debt, the interest bearing debt, then you literally feel like you're just weighted down. You're literally so stressed out you can't breathe because you're entangled. You're entangled in this mess that they tell you, well, if you want that house, that's what you got to do. If you want that car, that's what you got to do. Well, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to do that. And I'm here to tell you that if you're in that mess with that mortgage, with that car, that there's a really good chance you can get out of that pretty quickly. Most, and I'm going to say with a capital M, most clients that I work with every day, and I work with several people, most are just putting their money in the wrong place. Once we set up the strategy for them, they can breathe from the time they're done with their appointment. They can breathe a sigh of relief. They can see that the sky is actually blue out here and the fog that's hanging over your head is gone. I'm just telling you, people, it's serious out there. It's not funny to me. It's not funny to me that they've put you in this situation. And who is they? Who is they? The very smartest people in the world. I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them. They have a great game plan from 1929 that I know of. Okay? Great, genius people set this stuff up. I love capitalism. I think it's awesome. I think that we being able to make all the money we can possibly make as much as we want to in a day, I think that's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I love the United States. But you have got to stay smart in what the banks are doing. You've got to. Because we want to use the banks. I mean, unless you're using IBC, which let me tell you, there is nothing in this world that I have found to compare to the infinite banking concept, but that on the side. Once you understand how the banks work and you understand the tools, then you are going to be just fine because you're going to know how to not spin your wheels for years and years and years and years paying off that mortgage, paying off the car loan. And you're certainly not going to be getting a personal loan to help you make it this month. Okay? How many people in here actually have gotten the checks in the mail, have, gone to Okay, let me release some of the stress I used to have back in the day. When you were trying to figure out, okay, I have this credit card debt, I have this car loan, I have to pay for name it. I mean, something your kids are going to be doing in school, or you have to, buy clothes. Okay, so the new school year, you need to get your kids supplies for school, notebooks, pens, all that fun stuff, calculators. You have to pay supply fees to the school, right? So the clothes, hello. So the point is that, that is a time in the year, if you have a child, you don't want them to go to school with nothing. I I was the poorest of poor. I did not want to send my kids to school, with uh, non-fashionable things, but I had to, because why? I had no money. We wore the Walmart shoes, right? I can remember the first time I bought a pair of name brand shoes. Name brand shoes. I remember it. They were the coolest. And I was working with an older guy at a doctor's office, and he even said to me, "I remember when you came in with those high top Reeboks, the leather white. If you're in the room and you had those in '89, raise your hand." Because that was my very first pair of name brand tennis shoes, Reebok, high tops, white leather. I will never forget them. Oh my gosh. Listen, dudes, that was the shoe to have in 1989. So the point is I was never able to have anything. I had just started working for this doctor, and I was learning that, wow, I can make money, and it was super good and super fun. And I've loved making money ever since. But I have always been broke as heck, because I didn't know how to spend the money that I was given. And I stayed in car loans. And then, after I got married, you get the mortgage, right? And then, you have the kids. The kids they're expensive. So when we're sending our kids to school at the first of the school year, we want them to have some nice outfits. We want them to have some nice tennis shoes. We want them to have the cool little pencil. I mean, and I used to have to go take one of those stupid little personal loans just so that I could buy the stuff for them to go to school and look halfway decent, right? Uh, I remember so much about the stress of, how am I going to afford this? How am I going to do this? So just think about it. What if that stress went away in your life? What would you think about? Think about what it would feel like if you no longer had to wake up of a morning and, okay, all right, I have to take care of this today. Let's think, how am I going to do it? Yes, Air Jordans, they were huge. Yes, the Reebok, it was all good. Um, what if you didn't have that weight on your shoulders? What if you knew how to handle your money? And even though you still have the mortgage, what you're doing is eliminating it in about a third of the time compared to the 30 years they told you. What if your car was going to be paid off in, I don't know, 18 months besides 7 years? It's all possible. And you have to know how that tool is working that you're in, so that you're able to get out and move on to bigger and better things. Okay. So the point is to get people educated. just to get you educated on what options there are. That's why I have the 4-week classes that I do. We meet on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and Saturday mornings 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That way we can hit the West and the East Coast and we can give you some ideas about what is going to be beneficial for you. So the 4-week class is starting April the 2nd, which is that this coming Wednesday? Can you all believe that we're going into April? I can't believe it. I can't believe that. Anyway, when Gloria, if your ears were burning off this morning, it was because I was talking to Chris and Ogle about you. So just want you to know that. But if you want to join the class, register for that class. It's starting April the 2nd. It's going to be Wednesdays and Saturdays through April. Okay. And we're also going to bring in members of Chris Nogle's team. They're going to be talking about the infinite banking concept, which is my new favorite thing. Because I've been working it, guys. Whatever I work and do, I share with you. That just rhymed. I should have been a poet. So the thing is that if I can get you educated and you can find the secret little nuggets that's out there on how to use your money, how the bank tools work, then guess what? You're going to get out of this crunch that you're in. Okay? So I just wanted to jump on and say that if you just take some time to think about what you're doing, study, study, study. So, and if you care, now if you don't care, you're not going to study because I'm not mad at you if you decide not to study. I'm not mad at you if you decide to go get another loan. I'm not mad at you and I don't care that you do that. But I do care that people have the information that they need so that they can make educated decisions, right? So just think, guys, just think about what your life could look like if you get away from that interest bearing. Everything's interest bearing. There's different types of interest. So if you know the difference between the two, you're going to know how to handle whatever tool you get in, whether it be a loan, whether it be a line of credit. The point is that there are options, but you can't use the options if you don't know about them. So definitely keep watching the channel. Let's see what you guys are saying. I haven't even been looking over here. Oh, thank you, Victor. Thank you so much for that. North Georgia's in the house. Just barely made it by the skin of my teeth, having some rough times. Dave, I know where you're at. We've got Orlando in the house. Hello, hello. I started but need to stop buying other things. Well, until you get some things under control, you might have to get frugal. I don't teach frugality, but you may have to in your situation. Now, sometimes I have people come in and they literally are spending too much. Like if I see $2,000 in food expense a month and you only have one child, you might want to check out your spending there. Okay. But if you have an average food bill of about, $1,200 a month and you are a family with one child, then that's about the going rate. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, just keep studying, keep watching. You don't need to hire anybody to do anything. You don't have to show up for a 4-week course. That is individualized attention. Okay. So when we're in the 4-week, we're bringing people in like Money Max, like the Infinite, the IBC team. We're bringing in the First Lien HELOC banks so that you can ask questions. That's all that the 4-week class is about. Giving you time to ask questions about what tools are available to you, and we look at your worksheets. You're going to send in a worksheet to me, and I'm going to look through it and see what options you have. What might be a good strategy for you. Talk about that a little bit. Brainstorm so that you will have ideas that would work in your particular situation. So definitely watch the videos and see what strategy that you can use with these lines of credit, with the money max. See what you can use that's going to change your whole financial world, meaning today. Okay? This isn't something that should take, 3 years to figure out. Especially if you're meeting with me, I'm going to be blunt with you. I'm going to tell you, hey, you have got to do this, this, and this, or hey, you should check into this because you can't get a line of credit right now. You probably need to move this way. Your credit score is low. How about if we build it up by doing this? I mean, just ideas, and that is so good. If you have a coach of your own, and you're sitting and you're working through thoughts and ideas with him or her, that's good for you because it stirs up. It's brainstorming. That's a great word because you're literally stirring up ideas you wouldn't have had before. And so we were having brainstorming meetings this morning, and the point is throw out some ideas even if they're crazy. And when you think about thinking, and you get up, an hour early, just to sit down and think and write down ideas, even if they're crazy ideas, throw them down on paper and see how they develop. I do that. I've got my notebook right here where I have been writing my own ideas down. And so I just um, anything from the 4-week class. So I was kind of brainstorming on that by myself this morning, scheduling speakers. Who could we have new in to talk to people? Which we were talking about the 3-day webinar that's starting September the 1st. So I was throwing ideas around about that. I was thinking out loud to myself too about modules and how many modules, and when should I release the modules, and do we need to have a playlist just for modules? I mean, I'm constantly thinking about stuff, and what does a new schedule look like for me? What should I be doing when I first wake up of a morning? What should I do for an hour or two there? When does a workout come in there? If you care about exercise of any form. What does your eating look like during the day? Do you need to plan meals? Are you a meal planner? Um, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I constantly, so I'm just showing you, I'm constantly writing down my own ideas first thing of a morning. I just like to think about, do I need a coach for this? Do I need to create a team for this? So it's about thinking. And so when you think, you get ideas you never thought of before, because as your mind starts rolling day after day, great things start coming to you. We have a mind, use it. They say we don't use that much of our brain, but I think that you can use a lot more. And especially if you're asking for wisdom. If you're asking for wisdom, then you're definitely going to get some ideas you never thought of before. So again, if you would like to register for my 4-week class, I call it the Masterclass. It's a workshop. Like I said, it's a Wednesday evenings, 9 p.m., Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That way we're hitting the East and the West Coast. And we're going to talk about everything. Every class is going to be a different subject, from lines and loans, how they work, why they're different, interest, what types are there, all the way up to the infinite banking concept. What does it look like? Money max, all that. Okay. So join us for that if you would like to. Let me look at some more. questions here. Will your class be user-friendly for the seasoned persuasion? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. We do allow you to talk and ask questions in the classes. When the speakers come, they have a Q&A as well. Oh, where do you sign up for the class? I guess I could put that in here. I keep the classes small so that I can get around to everybody. So that's why there's only limited spots in that class, because I want to make sure that everybody is able to get their questions answered. You also have priority in anything to do with emails, so that if you have something that comes up during the week that you need to ask a question, you get priority emails with that so that we can talk out things. Some people like to just hear themselves type, I think, and so they'll send me question after question after question. And I'll answer a few, but then I'll quit because I'm like, you're not studying, because I can tell that you're not studying by the questions you're asking. So I don't give handouts. I give hand ups. That word. Um, so the point is that if I see that you're asking really deep questions that I know that I don't talk a lot about in the videos, then I'll answer emails, but when I have time. But I don't like that handout mentality. I'm not entitled, and I don't like people that think they're entitled. So the thing is that when we're in these classes, you can ask your questions in classes through the chat, and then you're getting the answers you need without a bunch of emails. But if you've been out looking, if you're in my class and you're a class member and you've been out looking at a HELOC, for example, and they say something odd that you're not used to hearing, then, we talk about that through emails throughout the week. The thing is that it is very, I think, um, full of knowledge. These classes are not just from me, but hearing the experience of the other class members and their questions and what they're going through. So we do it 2 nights a week, or we do it one night and then one morning. And that way, if you can't make a class, then you can get the recording of the last class, because they are recorded. So I'm not even mad about that. The point is that gives you an option to think out loud during these classes. And also we have the Money Max guy come in so that he can actually sit and work with your worksheet as well after the class is over, and give you a personalized idea of what the Money Max is going to do for you. Same with the IBC. We can schedule appointments with the team, and they can work your numbers to see how you can get started becoming your own banker. And that's so exciting to me. I can't stand it. Okay. So the April workshop or masterclass, whatever you want to call it, begins April 2nd. And I'm putting the link in here. So if you register, and we have several that are registered already, but if you register, you'll be getting an email Monday. I believe they go out Monday, giving you some information on the upcoming Wednesday class and what times, all that fun stuff. Like I said, it's 9 p.m. Eastern time. We do it late. So if you're on the West Coast and you've been working all day, then you're going to be able to touch in on that class as well. Like I said, they are recorded. Now, also, we're going to be having the September 1st 3-day webinar. I am super excited about that because we really bring in a lot of different people to talk there. So, just trying to get you guys educated for little of nothing. I mean, the class is $297 for the month of April. So I'm not even mad about that. I'm lowballing that just so that more people can get in and get their situation under control by April. What is there, a 30th? There's just a 30th or 31st in April. I'm not sure. But by May 1st, you should be up and running. You should be up and running. And I'm excited to do that for you. So join that if you'd like to. If you hang on for the IBC videos, like I said, they're coming because I'm super excited to teach you more about the IBC and what that looks like in your situation, how that is. I'm so excited. I mean, when I think about some things, if I think about, oh my gosh, I painted my kitchen last night. I just want to tell you all that. I literally got in the mood and I had a break and I said, you know what? I'm not hiring anybody to do it. I'm going to go do it myself. So I went to Lowe's and I got the paint and the brushes and all that. And I worked, I don't know, not all night, but I worked a long, long time. And my kitchen, when I walked into it this morning, I'm like, oh, wow. So see, I mean, I could have hired somebody to do that, but it's like, really? The joy of knowing I did it. I put my hard work into that. I'm excited. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, people. I am a little silly heart. So I know you are, Gloria. I'm so sorry I haven't done that yet. It's a lot. It's a lot. So if you're really serious about taking control of your money, the IBC is the way to do it. But it's a lot and it's a process. So I just want to make sure that you guys are super educated on the way this is going to go um, in your own finances and what it looks like and where it came from and, what the future holds for you if you're doing the IBC. So I'm sorry. I have a lot to talk about, but I'm sorry. I guess I'm a hopeless romantic or something because I always look to the brighter future and what's next. How are you on the increase and what can you do to bring increase into your life? Pray about it, ask for wisdom, study the videos, stay tuned because there's going to be more and more and more because I'm just so excited to show and share everything with you guys. I just want to see everybody that comes within my path be successful, and I know you can if you want it. Okay, you make it happen. I know you can because I did. All right, guys, you all have a great rest of your day. I hope to see you in the next video.